Go to Joe Hoft now of Gateway Pundit. Joe, walk us through this. You were on the other day, and then afterwards you posted a story up on the lead that everybody found quite intriguing. And I don't know if it's what Chanel linked to in her tweet that the president then tweeted out, and now the world's in meltdown. But walk us through what the Gateway Pundit story was and how you guys came to this conclusion to take this various pieces of information and put them together in one story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Thanks, Steve. And great to be back. This all really started after our last discussion, which was Tuesday morning, where we brought up that we'd identified numerous, maybe 6 or 7 instances where there was data that was being flipped within the data set, apparently, that's showing up on just CNN and some other sites, where they would see an equivalent reduction from the Trump numbers and an equal amount being increased in Biden's numbers at the same time. And so we had a number of those. So we thought there's something going on here. There's certainly a pattern. The one pattern is that they're always against Trump. And so it seemed to be more than a glitch, which is what they were being called at that time. So somebody actually sent me a link to a site, and it's apparently it's the Donald site that used to be formerly on one of the it was either 4chan or Reddit, and they got shut down because they didn't want any Donald stuff up there. And so they went and created their own website, and I've got a link to it in my post from Tuesday night. But in it, they had done this analysis that I was looking for. I was looking for the data, and I was looking for, to try to figure out how can we go through this data and determine if there's more of a pattern that's going on rather than just these 6 or 7 anomalies that we identified. And sure enough, these guys had done it, and there's a link to it out on our post from Tuesday, and it shows that there's literally in the Dominion realm, they came up with around 434,000 votes that got switched from Trump to Biden, and a total of 2.7 million votes that just were erased. And so we had noticed these anomalies. Now we've got an overall picture. These guys got a hold of the New York Times data feed, and then they used that to run their analysis. And they felt like leave it to
the guys at the Donald just to go ahead and crack into you gotta love it. The New York Times is melting down. They love anything about the Donald anyway. Just the site, just the even mention of it, they vapor lock over there. It's so great when they crack into the data feed. So explain what they did and explain to the audience why this is so important and what the math tells you here.
Yeah. So they got a hold of this data set. They've got a bunch of IT guys there. I talked to one guy. He said, well, there's maybe around 200 or so IT guys that are working on this. There's other groups that we're aware of that are IT that are working on other things. It's really exciting. There's a lot of people jumping in. I've had a number of people volunteer to me to say, how can I help? And I'm forwarding them to these groups. But what they did then is they took that data set and looked for these periods where data was being shifted. They actually found some instances where it happened with Biden, but predominantly it was Trump, and the Biden numbers are netted out of these totals. So, what we're seeing, like in their end result, which is unaudited, and we've got somebody that reached out to us and said he would be willing to audit this for us, and he's looking into that. So these are unaudited, but they showed, like in Pennsylvania alone, 220,000 votes that were switched from Trump to Biden. Now, I think the lead there is 50,000 now. So, boom, that's Pennsylvania. In Michigan, they came up with 20,000 votes. The biggest one was overall was Pennsylvania. A lot of monkey business in Virginia, where they mentioned 790,000 votes were dropped and lost. So we don't really know what happened there. Are they losing them and then backfilling them with all Biden votes over a period of time? We don't know. But there's more research to be done here. But it's certainly, now we've got a complete set and a complete analysis of what was going on election night.
So we're going to help enroll it and present this. Here's the question I've got. You've got, because the Trump movement, and you can see from the different sites, we have some tremendous people in technology and tremendous people on analytics. You got Shiva, the guy that ran for the Senate. He's doing like expanded TED Talks on certain analytics coming out of Michigan and other places. You've got so many other people doing it, crowdsourcing, the Donald, etc. So you got the pirate ship is now in full mode of really smart people and doing all this. So we have that, and then we've got Gateway Pundit and other great sources of guys like yourself pulling together. Here's where I don't see the connect right now. There is an official apparatus, right, called the Republican Party apparatus and the campaign apparatus that have extensive data sets, voter files, all of that, and can get down to the precinct data. Are you now trying to merge that together or reach out to people either at the RNC or at the campaign so that you can really get a much more, kind of boom, fused in and connected and expedite this, because we're burning daylight, right? This is all, remember, everything here, we're on the shot clock. And so where do you think the people you're talking to, because I know we're talking to them all day long, there's numbers of really smart people on the analytics side doing this, crowdsourcing it, but how does that get linked into some official apparatus?
Well, you're right. And one of the groups is spending their own money to buy some of these data sets so they can do this analysis. So the Republican Party would be a huge help if they have this data to reach out to us and to provide it so we can provide it to these guys, especially the Donald group and another group that I know of. They're doing a lot of great work voluntarily, and I'm sure they could use help with more data sets. That's the challenge. Once they get it, they can do their work, but getting it has been a problem. So
okay, we got about a minute left. Where are you guys on Gateway Pundit? Where are the Hoft brothers going with this story?
Yeah, so we posted it Tuesday night. It's been retweeted. It was a big story, a lot of volume. Again, Steve, we mentioned the other day we're getting more than 5 million hits a day now. People want the truth. They're searching for it. Today, President Trump retweeted basically these numbers in all caps, stating that he says Dominion deleted 2.7 million Trump votes nationwide. The analysis finds 221,000 Pennsylvania votes switched from Trump to Biden. Okay. And he says,
this is the point. This is why I want to have you on, Joe, because we love you guys. It's good news and bad news. The good news is he retweeted you, so you're going to get like 9 zillion hits on the thing. The bad news is that the world is now focused on Donald Trump's tweets, and they go to Chanel, and they see that Chanel basically links back to your story. Your story links back to these crowdsourcing times. It's kind of like it's stand and deliver time, right? Because the world's sitting there. The president's retweeted. He's saying, "Hey, I bought in. I like it. I'm good. Where's my?" He's going to start working on his inaugural address right now, right? Because if that's true, then it flips. We're good to go. So we got to bounce. We're going to come. We're following you guys. We're going to come back. We want to get engaged in making sure that all this kind of works through and it ties into some official apparatus at some time. You guys are doing great work. The 5 million hits a day is fantastic. Joe Hoft, Gateway Pundit. We're going to have links to the Gateway Pundit to the story. Joe, thank you very much for joining us today. Joe Hoft. Okay, Pasobic, all of us back in a moment.